Norb Novison here. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of knives that we have recently put up on eBay. These are wonderful, but let me show you a little bit of education on these. This one right here is called a Sudanese Haladie, I believe it's Haladie Dagger. Okay, this is late 1800s. It's a wonderful piece out of North Africa. The blade is covered in Islamic writing on either side. When we picked this up, at first, from just looking at the outside and seeing the beads, we thought, oh, this is new. But once we picked it up and saw this, we realized that not only were the beads old, each one is a different size. They're not uniform at all. They're old hand-blown. But the handle is ancient. So we knew this was something special. We start digging into it, and we found out that this piece right here, these were the type that were used by the followers of a guy named Muhammad Ahmed, who declared himself the leader in Sudan in 1881 until about 1885. So it's a wonderful piece of history all the way around. His followers used these. Now, you may ask, how did we determine what this is? Let me tell you, this one stumped us for quite a while. We initially thought, because of the shells, that this was an island piece, but we found out it wasn't. How did we go about doing that? Let me tell you. We ended up seeing that it had two blades, so we went to Google and we started to research. We put in quotation marks, double blade, and then we put in Arabic, because it had Arabic writing all over this. And in a little while, we found one that matched this very closely. And when we found what it looked like, the Sudanese dagger, we then did another search utilizing the word Sudanese dagger, and all of a sudden, all sorts of pictures of these from history came up, and we knew we had a match of what we were looking for. We then could go in and matched it up even closer to be able to find out a little bit of the history behind this. Research is key in being able to identify something, and sometimes you have to work to do that. This took us about 2 hours to identify it, but it was worth doing that because of the age of it. Old knives can be very valuable, and it was worth putting in that 2 hours of time. Unlike the other knife we have up today. Now this knife also is a fantastic knife, but it is new. It has new beads. Every bead is exactly the same size. There's no differentiation at all between the beads. The blade, you can see the machine making on the blade. The handle is new. It's just a wonderful knife, and it may have quite a bit of value, but this does not have the age of the other one. It is not signed, and we didn't deem that this was worth putting a lot of effort and research into it because the return for what we're doing did not justify that. But I did like the fact that it had 8 rivets in the handle, which is pretty rare. So we did emphasize that in our auction. Isn't it a gorgeous piece? So when you start doing research, the first thing you need to do is determine if something justifies doing additional research. Age and old does justify. New doesn't always justify it. You have to have a reason and value that requires that you do more research.